Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg, and welcome to, you might say, a special day at the model table. I think some of you probably know why it's a special day, because it's 6 years ago today that I dragged this piece of plywood upstairs and we started assembling everything that you see here. I think it took about 2 or 3 weeks. And several short little episodes. Yeah, it was 6 years ago today. And time flies. I think I said this a year ago when I had the anniversary show. In some ways it looks like it's like yesterday, and some days it's like it never happened. But it's happened. One of the viewers was asking me, have I always been interested in modeling? Well, basically yes, but there was a long period of time when I was big into woodworking, and I was down in my workshop every chance I got. Woodworking, not model making. Anyway, I've always been sort of interested in models. I was into flying models back in the 80s, RC models, and I think I mentioned that was when RC was, you might say, in its infancy. That is the modern RC that we have today. Okay, let's not be wasting a whole bunch of time reminiscing here. Let's get right into things. I did come back to the model table and touch up those parts where the alligator clips have been holding on to. So they are now ready to try and put in the various places on this plastic shell. I think that's what we're supposed to be doing here in step 61. I'm going to want to be careful though that I don't be putting anything on that's later going to give me a problem. Maybe what I should be doing is getting the aft torpedo section and just see how it's going to fit in here, because I do believe that these propeller shafts have to match up with a hole that is in the bulkhead, at least I think, but I'm not sure. Now, I noticed this morning after I sat down and I started looking around, and yes, I was adjusting my hobby knife so that the blade reflected just right. Anyway, when I'm looking around, I noticed, oh my goodness, I forgot to clean out my paintbrush. So this paint is not only dried, it's cured. This is the Mr. Hobby number 337. Now, if it was the Tamiya XF paint, I wouldn't worry about it, because I know that Windex would dissolve it almost instantly, even if it was cured. It would. Which means, I guess, that in a way you might say, well, the Mr. Hobby is a better paint. It stands up better to, solvents. Okay. But anyway, this is a hobby. I'm not trying to paint my car so that it can take a rainstorm. Okay. I'm going to just try it and see if the Windex will I still got about half a jug of this. I think I bought this originally when we started the Bismarck almost 6 years ago, and it's lasted pretty good. And it's a real inexpensive way to clean your Tamiya paints. Anyway, I was really pleasantly surprised to get a lot of comments from people when we were talking who said that they also really like the Tamiya paint. So I guess I'm not alone. Okay, just for the fun of it, let's recompose here and put the macro lens on and see what is going to happen if I very carefully and slowly, well, maybe not so slowly, work this around in some Windex. Will it dissolve the paint? I don't want to lose the brush. This is one of my favorite little brushes. So, okay. Another thing we're going to do is today we're going to paint the propellers. According to Trumpeter, we're supposed to be using the Mr. Hobby H9, which is this. It's a metallic paint. At first I was thinking it'd probably do a better job if I was to try and spray it. But I think the last thing I want to do is get a bunch of Mr. Hobby metallic paint in my airbrush and can't get it out. So I'm not good. I'm just going to brush it on. One of the viewers was talking about doing a build, and and I was saying something about, are you going to video it? And he got back to me and indicated that maybe what he would do is, I think he was just going to do a one video covering the entire build. That's what I got out of it. My recommendation to anybody who's thinking about videoing their builds, unless you love photography, don't do it. It's just enjoy the build. Unless you enjoy photography, like I do. So that's why I do what I do. And also I do this because it gives me something to do. It gives me a purpose. You know, when you're retired and you're living alone, and you need a purpose. Well, this is my purpose. Yeah, and we got the USS Enterprise coming. You know, it sort of, in a sense, that will become my stash when I get it in here. Right now, I have no stash, not one single kit in this unmade kit in this house, except for the submarine. So that's just the way I do it. So at least I'll have a stash, and I'll have a future in my mind, if nothing else. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if we can clean our little paintbrush here using the Windex. I'll put the macro lens on and get in really close. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's dissolving it. Okay, I guess I haven't lost the brush. It might take a while. Okay, that was what I was worried about. That possibly I was going to lose my brush, but I can see, yeah, you can see it's working its way in pretty good there. All right, we've wasted enough time. See if we can get some of our little painted parts glued onto the clear hull. And also, I'm going to be using the weld bond glue. Yeah, we won't use the Tamiya extra thin. Yeah, we pretty much got this, don't we? Well, not really, but yeah, it's gonna survive here. Now, a funny thing happened a few moments ago when I went to get this. I couldn't remember exactly where I put it. I'd forgotten that I'd hung it up instead of laying it on the top shelf of the ship case. And I'm looking at the modules that are on top of the ship case, and I'm thinking, where is it? Anyway, we're going to, this is going to be the first time that we're going to try and get the cone over top of our module here. And want to be extra careful that I don't accidentally break a wire off for the LEDs, which I think could actually be done. Alright, now this is going to be the first time here. Okay, I was wondering why this does not fit evenly, but I can see. Yeah, this is what I thought was the holes for the propeller shafts, but they're on the wrong side. Oh, here we go. All right, yeah, the propeller shaft I believe goes right in there, and there's probably one on the other side. No, there isn't. I wonder if I was supposed to have broken that out. Well, we'll worry about it when the time comes. All right, let's see now how this is going to go. Well, it seems to fit. I'm a little worried about that one propeller shaft, though. That hole is. Well, I'm not real worried because I can drill it out. Gotta be careful where I grab here. Yeah, one is supposed to go right here. Where is it? Yeah, right there. Now, there are some pieces that have to be mounted on the top of the deck that are extremely fragile. And I think that, I'll just get it here, like this one right here, you see, it's got to go mounted on the top of the deck. And I think I should wait until later because I can envision myself, when I'm handling this, accidentally breaking it off. So we don't necessarily want to be putting parts on at the right time. We just got to remember at the time that the manual says, we just have to remember to not forget to do them by the end of the build. There is another pipe that from about 2 months ago that goes somewhere. Anyway, starting to think out loud here and not make a whole lot of sense. All right, so this does fit. You know, I didn't fit it all the way, but it does seem to fit. Okay, I've refit this part back into the shell. And it fits really good. It almost fell into place. Just slides right in nicely. But when we look at it, we're going to be looking at it from this side here, and the bow will be to the right. And I am noticing that if I was to paint this top part, we're not going to see as much detail unless we were to sort of look up. Now, granted, we probably could paint the deck, and we wouldn't be losing a whole lot by painting the deck, but I'm not going to. When we view it from the other side, there's quite a bit of detail on the bottom here that we are not going to see unless we put a mirror behind the at the back of the case or whatever it happens to be. Then we'll get to see a little bit more detail. So in all likelihood, I'm going to have mirrors, probably tile mirrors, all the way along the back. At least that's the plan right now. Now the reason I put this in here is because I was curious as to where do the propeller shafts go. Now they go in right here, but they don't go all the way up. I had thought that they would go right up to this bulkhead, but they don't. And I'm noticing that I can't get them to fit in the slot, so I'm probably going to have to take a drill bit and just ream this out a bit so that this will go in a little bit easier. It's a bit of a tight fit. And what's going to happen is I'm going to scratch the paint off of the propeller shaft if I try to do it. Okay, so yeah, that's the way it's going to go. I was noticing on the top of one of the LEDs there, I didn't cover it up, so we're going to have light emitting off of the top of that. So I'll have to maybe do something about that. Anyway, this does seem to come out, go in and out quite easily. Now let's not break our torpedo. Anyway, you get the idea. Let's get some of the pieces mounted on this shell that are supposed to be mounted on now. And let's put this back where it's going to be nice and safe. Now, what I had originally planned on doing was taking a bit that was just slightly larger than this propeller shaft and drilling it out, but I realized that once I was trying to fit the bit in there that there was a chance that I could end up getting a catch and cracking the plastic. So using one of Chris's rounded files here, it worked out just perfect. Now I'm just going to go and do the other one the same way. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to remount the inside of this as well. Yeah, I never thought of that, but anyway, that's the way it's going to go. I'll be back in a minute here. Okay, now this larger strut is supposed to fit right in here. And this smaller one is supposed to go right there. You can just barely see where it's supposed to go. So let's just see how it's going to fit. And this is going to be my first time trying this. Exactly like this, that is. Okay, now if we were to glue this down at this angle right here, whoops, I got it out of whack, didn't I? Now I know that the extra thin would be a lot easier because all I would do right now is I would touch it onto the side and let it wick its way all the way around. The problem is with that, by doing that, oh, this propeller shaft has to go all the way in here. Okay, now if you remember, I was concerned about the fact that the propeller shaft was supposed to go all the way to the front of the bulkhead. Well, I can forget about that. It doesn't have to. Anyway, that's the way it's going to go. Yeah. Yeah. And this propeller would turn this way. I forget which ship it was. Was it the HMS Hood? The trumpeter had the propellers showing that they were going to go the wrong way. And if you looked at a photograph, you could see that the blades were twisted the other way. Anyway, I think we pretty much got it there. So let's get our weld bond here and try and very carefully not put any more on than we have to. Now I don't know where this is going to grab and where it isn't going to grab. Now if you remember, this stuff does dry clear. So if we do have squeeze out that I can't wipe off, I don't want to glue the shaft in place, so maybe I better not get it too close to that. Now as for this part here, just put some right along the middle there. And get this around now. It's going to have to go like this. Now you can see it's coming out some places. Now we're going to use our shaft here. If you remember, to make sure we've got it exactly straight. Probably getting my fingers in your line of vision there. Okay, now if I push this down, it looks like it has to maybe move up a little bit. All right. Alrighty, we got this in place. Yeah, that's going to be all right. All right, we'll just give that a few minutes, and I'm going to do the other side the same way. You get the idea. I can well imagine that it's going to take a while for this glue to dry on the inside where the air can't get at it, but eventually it will. Now, according to step 61 here, we got to put the rudders in place. I don't know if I'm going to glue them or if we'll just hope that there's going to be a nice friction fit going on here. Looks like there will. Might eventually glue them. Now, you remember on the tops of the other end of the rudder shaft or stem, there has to be the control arms for the push rods, and so that's basically the way this has to go here. Okay, we are pretty much done. Step 61. Oh no, pardon me. There's the C22s. They have to go on the side. All right. Okay, now this does not want to lock into place. I think what I'm going to have to do is turn this thing up at a bit of an angle so that it can just lay on here, and we'll let gravity be our friend. Yeah, I'll have to rig something up. Now, when you're looking at this piece, it looks like it should lock into place there. It almost does. Okay, we are at the place now where we can fasten these struts to the clear plastic hull. Now, this one on the bottom that I'm touching right now, I have already glued in place. I did not use the weld bond. I used extra thin, regular, like extra thin, not the quick setting. I'm going to try it on this side. Now this side that we're looking at right now is the side that is going to be away from us. So if it turns out to be a real disaster, I won't do it on the other side. But I think if I'm careful, we can get just enough in there that it's going to wick its way in underneath. And I don't think it's going to spoil the paint. Okay, I did glue our rudder shafts or stems in place. I think I've got the rudders basically going in a straight line. And we should be able to take this off now, all being well. Very carefully here. Try not to put any stress anywhere where it's not needed. We might need one of these rubber bands to help hold this piece down that we're going to glue in place next. I'm pretty sure we can take one of them off. Now let's see if we can get this around my hooked tweezers here. Oh, these tweezers? Usually when I use something like this, somebody always asks, where did you buy these? Well, these just used to be straight ones that I bent. So. Alrighty, we got that one off. Now this one here. Alright, now that piece is going to go, let's just leave that back a bit. Okay, one of them, something goes right there, yeah. Okay. So it's going to go like this. And the ends here have to be, okay, I'm wondering if maybe, nope, not like that. Bit of a tight fit here. Oh yeah, I remember that from before when we fit that piece in there. And now what that I've got some glue in there, it's probably going to be even a little tighter. Well, let's get a little bit of extra thin on this and a little bit of extra thin on that and try and get this in place. Wonder if there's a better way I can hold on to this. And that's kind of how it goes, but not quite. Let's recompose a bit here. I got the camera up in the air here, and it's sort of in my way. Now I had to rehydrate our rudder shafts here so that I could get these to fit nicely without being under a lot of tension. And it seems to have worked out okay here, but they're obviously they're not glued on yet. They're just sitting there where they're supposed to go. I suppose I probably could glue them right now. Just a little touch of glue from underneath, maybe on the inside, it'll sort of wick its way into the appropriate place. Or maybe what I should do is do it like this. It's not really sticking, is it? Maybe I need a holder downer here. You know what? I'm going to worry about this tomorrow. I'm going to call it quits for this afternoon. What do we got here? It's 7 minutes after 2 in the afternoon already. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.